Everybody, welcome back to Guideline Apostolic Ministries. I am Pastor John Allen, and I'd like to talk about grace. What is grace? Grace is the supernatural, unmerited favor of God. That's it. Now come out of the book of 2 Corinthians, verses 12, chapter 12, verses 5 through 9. Then we'll expound it. And it reads, 2 Corinthians 12, 5 through 9. Of such and one will I glory, yet of myself I will not glory, but in mine infirmities, sicknesses, and illnesses. For though I would desire to glory, I shall not be a fool. I will say the truth, but not I forbear, lest any man should think of me above that which he seeth me, or that he heareth of me. Unless I should be exalted above measure, through the abundance of revelations that was given to me. A thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan, to perfect me, lest I be exalted above measure. For this thing I sought the Lord 3 times, sought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. There are instantaneous healings. God can heal you in an instant. But he doesn't. Because in your infirmity, in your trial, God's working through you in that trial. So, Paul, the anointing of God gave him to be able to heal people with his shadow, take parts of his clothing and give it to the sick, and they would recover from the sickness. But at the same time, Paul had an infirmity, which caused him to ask the Lord to pray 3 times. And Paul had, of course, faith with God. Many of us do. But God answered him and said, no, my grace is sufficient for thee. This is a time of learning of God's grace. That's why. Yes, we're still blessed, still anointed, powerful in God. Yeah, we have sickness in our body. We have things that God has not yet done for us. Here's Paul doing all these things through God using him, and yet he was denied his own prayer. I said, no, I'm not going to grant your request, Paul. You see, I sent grace to you. And my grace is sufficient for you. God's grace is sufficient for you. So glory that God has given you that grace. God has blessed you in your infirmities, in your sicknesses, in your hurt, in your pains. That's racking your body. You feel it all the time. Yet God has not taken that away from you. He's using your sickness to bring out the glory of God in you. So, it gives us something to constantly pray about, for one thing. So, a lot of times, God's blessing us all the way to see the grace. You know, you're supposed to see it. You find yourself with people that kind of are amazed when God's blessing them. Let me tell you something. When you're anointed and appointed, you're supposed to abide in blessings. Shouldn't be no mystery, or you shouldn't be shocked when God's doing blessing your life, which should be a normal thing. Yes, God will answer your prayer. Yes, He will. But certain things he wouldn't deny and say no to. So we kept paying according to his will, but God said, no, I'm working through you, Paul. My grace is going to get you through. See, God can heal us in a second. Okay? Solve all the problems in an instant. But what we have learned, we have to learn when we go through our trials, God's teaching us. He's working something in our spirit, working something out of our spirit. Until then, you just got to go with God's grace. Yeah, keep going. But God got you in perpetual motion going forward and not backward. And we want to go back with God, but the Holy Spirit is moving us ahead. We're still making it. You're going through, but you're still making it. God's putting that grace, pouring on the grace in your life. You're still making it. Still being provided for. Blessings are flowing. That you praying about certain things that God's not doing. It's not the time. God's got grace working. God ain't gonna get that all entangled up. He said grace. He said that's sufficient, which means there's plenty to get the job done in your life. So right now, I'm giving you the grace. I'm pouring it on. That's what God's doing. So it's not that he's not answering your prayer. He just ain't answering the ones that are working in your life. God's not going to sing grace and then not let it do its perfect work in your life. In our life. We are saved by grace. We're justified by faith. Faith in Jesus Christ, not in ourselves. So I just wanted to say that the grace God gives us is sufficient to get the job done. Whatever that job God has for you. I'm talking spiritual, not your regular job. He'll bless you in a regular job as well. But we have to keep in remembrance that so much is happening in the world. We have to remember. First seek the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and the rest shall be added unto you. It's time now to stop looking for all the rest. We're looking for the other things. We have to put God first in our trials, in our tribulations, in our infirmities, in our sicknesses. We still have to praise him. We still have to go home and let God have the perfect work in our life. The grace already given to us. So while you're complaining, God still has grace on your life. He's still calling you to prosper, not just financially, but in many ways. You're still making it. Grace is still carrying you through. You're still making it. Grace is doing that. About to open up doors for you that were closed. Blessings are flowing in different areas. And that may be just getting to your doctor's appointment. Yeah, God give you grace for that. That's right. Or your dental appointment. God give you grace because you're in pain. God ain't just going to take the pain away. But the insurance to go to the dentist, get the tooth pulled out. Use common sense. You praying for a toothache and God gave you money to go get the tooth pulled. Go get the tooth pulled. That's grace. Got you some money aside to do that. That's grace moving to get the job done. Don't look for God to, listen, you got an infected tooth. Don't look for God to make it automatically just disappear or go away. It's ridiculous. God doesn't say get your tooth pulled. That's what you pray for. When the money asks God, Lord, I need my tooth pulled. Lord, just bless me with my tooth pulled. That's all you got to do. God will make the way. That's that grace movement. But don't be ridiculous with it. Be realistic. Okay? I mean, God gives us grace to get insurance, to look on our, to help us in our health. You know, I know that God can, I know God, by his stripes we're healed. Yes, I understand that. But don't forget, you still can go to the doctor because God didn't say you couldn't go to the doctor. He told us sick need a what? Physician. You need a doctor. So he didn't say that you don't need to go to the doctor. It's just depending on the situation that you're in. Okay, everything's about the situation that you're in. How God's going to move on your situation. Not how you think about it. And what you think about it don't mean anything because that ain't going to make it get done. I have to be going through the Word of God. So you're in a time of grace in your life. And you're going through every day. But it don't storm all day. It don't storm all night. It's gonna stop. You may be in the trial for quite some time. You've been in the trial for quite some time. But God's gonna bring you out. Until then, God's grace is sufficient for thee. Which means to you. His grace is sufficient for thee. God didn't say you won't have no aches and pains now. But His grace will get you through. That's it. Short but to the point. And God bless you. See you next time.